to John Barrasso, the Wyoming Republican senator, the Senate Republican Conference chairman. Chairman, very good to have you. Let me get your sense of what the congressman was just saying, that, this is going to get done. That Manchin, and by extension, Kristen Sinema of Arizona, they'll eventually settle their differences. This gets done. Now, you talk to your Republican colleagues, I know, to a man and woman who don't like this. Do you think he's right about those two Democratic senators?
Well, Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer say they want to have it done by Christmas, and to me that's going to make for a very long December because the Democrats are going to run into a buzzsaw of individuals in the Senate who realize this is going to hurt the economy if they pass this sort of thing. It's going to break the back of the American people in terms of the taxes, in terms of the inflation, in terms of all of this additional government spending. And I talk to Joe Manchin regularly. He and I have a committee meeting tomorrow, the Energy Committee. He has lots of concerns, and so does Senator Sinema. My recommendation is they put the pause button on this to say, let's take a look at this after the new year. Inflation, we know, is getting worse. We know that the taxes are going to be a huge burden on the American people. I just heard the previous guest talk about how he says this is a popular bill. You start talking to people at home about components of this bill, they hate it. When they hear that there are 5 different new entitlements for illegal immigrants, including amnesty, when people know that there's all this money for more IRS agents, people to do additional audits, to spy on our checking accounts and banking accounts, they hate that component.
The bottom line, you don't think this is going to come to pass. So if I could just get your sense of where Democrats and Republicans might meet on common ground to avoid a government shutdown on Friday. We're told that Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer have had what is said to be productive discussions. Do you think that that can be avoided, that they push this back? How will they do it? How will Friday night look, Senator?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to keep government open. I'm somebody that is against government shutdowns. But what you really are seeing here also is the fact that Chuck Schumer has been the majority leader for a year, and he's not brought a single appropriations bill to the Senate all year. He can't even get the nuts and bolts of the normal actions of government.
But to the shutdown
done.
thing, Senator,
so
do you think there's enough Republican support to avoid that, to work on some agreement, to just push it back a little bit, set up the stage where they deal with the debt ceiling in 2 weeks? I know you've said that they should be doing that by reconciliation. Leave it up to themselves. It's up to them. Republicans won't help with that. Where are you?
Yeah, yes, I believe that it's all going to get done. I'm a guy that's introduced legislation that's called End Government Shutdowns. I don't think that we accomplish anything by shutting down the government, Neil.
So you don't think that's going to happen?
I do not.
Okay, and on the debt ceiling thing, you will not be part of that push to raise the debt ceiling. Democrats should make that happen, or not.
Yes, I am clearly not going to vote to raise the debt ceiling. I don't know a single Republican that's going to vote for that because it's so tied to this reckless tax and spending bill. We're not going to default on our debt. We never have. But every time we've had a debt ceiling vote in the past, the idea is to have a discussion about how to get the deficit under control. That's the exact opposite of what's happening here. The Democrats want to raise the debt ceiling so they can do this massive socialist spending.
But Republicans have raised the debt ceiling a number of times. You're both guilty of it, right? It's just different ways of going about it, but it happens all the time, right?
And every time it's done, it generates a discussion a serious discussion about how are we going to get spending under control. That's not being done this time. This time they want to raise it so they can do reckless spending.
All right, we'll see what happens. Senator, thank you very, very much for taking the time.